perspective. Nobody does it better.
Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Here comes the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. From guys who bleed purple and gold, just like you.
All hands on deck!
Welcome to Hoist the Colors, with your host, Stephen Igo, on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook at 943thegame.com and on the IBX Media app. Here's Stephen Igo.
It is Hoist the Colors on a Friday, August 14th edition of the program, our first free-for-all Football Friday, because football is back. Preseason action last night, preseason action tonight through the weekend. We are 22 days away from ECU football. We're, 15 days away from week 0? I have to do the exact math, but I think that's right. And, man, it is coming fast and furious. Thrilled about today's program, because our first Friday show means the return of Bobby Harwood, who's back in studio. I'm interested to see how the camera picks up the shirt. Okay, it looks good on camera. Because this is a sick shirt. You're wearing your O's, I guess, Hawaiian shirt.
T-shirt giveaway. Yeah.
It's legit, man.
It's the best giveaway shirt of the year at Camden Yards. 15 of us guys went up for a weekend series for the Braves Orioles. Half of us were Braves fans, half were Orioles fans. We got an Airbnb in Annapolis, literally right across the street from Navy's football stadium.
Okay.
So we got to play during the day on Saturday when we were hanging at the house. You know, we're having orange crushes. We had a crab feast. I picked up a bushel of crabs. Some guys did a low country boil, had crushes. We played blitzball, which is, if you're unfamiliar, it's very similar to wiffle ball, but there's no holes in the ball, so it's a little bit easier to throw it. But had a blast that weekend, and yeah, picked up this shirt. So I'm gonna wear it until it gets holes in it.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. It's a sharp shirt, and unfortunately, I guess the Orioles have been playing decent, but still not great, as neither have my Mariners. So it's been a rough summer for me and you, our baseball teams.
It's been so frustrating because every time I think, hey, maybe this is it and we're turning a corner, we go right down the pooper again. And honestly, looking at the Mariners below us in the standings, not trying to rub it in, but it has made me feel better because of the year y'all had last year, and then and then the AL West is like the worst division in baseball right now too. So we have a chance.
You guys are only 2 games back in the wild card. Seattle is 3.5, which just shows how bad the American League is.
Yes, and here's the thing. We had our chance. We had the Rangers and then the Twins back-to-back series right before the Twins game last night and the Field of Dreams game, which was awesome, by the way. But we have Tampa and New York coming up, these next 2 series. If we can survive that, the schedule lightens up, because I think we got like the Rockies, the Athletics, the Blue Jays, the load lightens a little bit for us, but we just have to maintain maybe 500 baseball for these next 2 series.
Phillips Red Sox did get a win yesterday. They've kind of cooled off, but they're still in prime playoff position. Philip Hilkinen, he's behind the scenes hanging out with intern Kayleen. Philip, are you ready? Not only for football, but you've got football season and October baseball probably on the way, so just live it up over there, I guess.
Maybe. The interesting thing, Boston was so hot. And then it's like, okay, they're going to come back down to earth. We know that. Can they play 500 baseball or slightly above 500 baseball once they come back down to earth? They lost 5 in a row. So now they've won 1. They've ended the losing streak. So I think this weekend in the first series of next week, and I don't know who we play. I know we got Pittsburgh this weekend. I don't know who we play at the beginning of next series or next week, is going to determine, are they content just being, if they can be average the rest of the way, they're fine. But did they start playing like they did at the beginning of the season where they can't hit the ball, which is what they did during that 5-game losing streak? And if that's the case, I don't think it's penciled in that they're playing October baseball.
You know what it is?
What?
All right. We've heard of the curse of the great Bambino. This is the curse of the Dadley. The Dadley curse. Dadley gets activated and y'all lose 5 straight. That's what it is.
Yeah, it might
How's
be.
he been, by the way,
be.
Sox?
Terrible.
Taylor Ward's been pretty bad for the Mariners, too.
Has he?
So, yeah, he came to Seattle as the highest walk rate player in the big leagues, and he has not walked since coming to Seattle.
Seriously.
Yeah. Unless he walked yesterday, which I don't think he even played.
I don't know if you can pick this up on television. Our seats were upper deck behind home plate for the games. him in the batter's box. Yeah, I've at least up until this point, apparently, he's had the best eye in baseball. You just said it. His walk rate's incredible.
When you put on a Mariners uniform, it changes.
Apparently. But, dude, he was so far back in the box. He was as far back as you could get in the box. And it made sense because he let the ball travel and obviously had an incredible eye. But it was just kind of threw you off a little bit when you see him step in the box compared to everybody else and how deep he is. And he's just like occupying this little corner of the batter's box. Yeah.
He has it figured out. Or at least did. I don't know what's happened since. All right, the comment section. I should say, by the way, today we are doing our American Conference preview, and I have the title of the show, Is This ECU's Year to Win the American? So we're going to do every FBS conference and make some picks. We'll really dive into those picks segment 2. We'll get more into the discussion about ECU. Is this the year to win the American? All that in segment 2. So stay tuned for that because, by the way, week 0, just put up the schedule. We got to get through a lot of conferences. Ideally, I don't know if we're going to be able to get through every conference that at least opens play next week because maybe they all do looking at the schedule, but we'll figure out something. All right, the comments section. Arik Hill says, what a week of interviews and HTC being back on the air. Multiple comments, and I meant to bring this up, so shout out to Lane Smith and Kevin Cozart. How does Bobby Harvard feel about Jaden Daniels being a whiny quarterback?
You know, I woke up and saw that headline, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are we doing this again? Like RG3 Part 2 type deal? And then as I've heard more of the story, I'm more understanding of it. I wouldn't say I'm on the side of Jaden Daniels, but I understand why it's occurring. And part of it was his number he was promised that it wouldn't be worn again, and Lane Kiffin just gave it away. The other 2 Heisman Trophy winners, their jerseys are not occupied. From my understanding of it, if they just asked Daniels or kind of gave him a forewarning, it would be okay. But because of that, now the timing of it and all that stuff too, I also hate. I think it's ridiculous. But again, not saying I'm on Jaden Daniels' side, but I understand it.
It's created a lot of memes too, with people not being able to use the number 5 anymore, which is pretty good.
One of the ticket places did it. If you scroll back up,
StubHub maybe.
Was it StubHub?
Effective immediately. We will no longer offer tickets in groups of 5 out of respect for Jaden Daniels. We're only doing 4 or 6 plus. Thank you for your understanding.
And that's the official StubHub.
Yeah.
That is like.
Did he not? Dude, Thomas brought up something last night. We were talking about this. It was a good point. He's like, did they not learn anything from Lamar? Remember when Lamar tried to trademark 8 and tried to like hose Dale Jr. out of like using 8 a couple years back? Yeah. And obviously it didn't go through. It's like learn from the mistakes of other people.
I think his issue from everything I've got, this is just listening to DC radio, so it's a little biased, obviously. A lot of it is the people around him more than it is Jaden himself. And I think that's part of the concern. If you follow Jaden at all, you've seen his mom's a big part of the picture. I think that's becoming a bit of an issue, and I think that's playing a big factor in this situation as well.
I want my mom to raise hell if anybody at Hickory Ridge High School wears 81 this season. I want my mom marching down to the school ticked off.
I didn't love his statement either, that it was just like, I hope this is handled privately. He didn't really address it, but I don't know. Maybe it's too far gone at this point for him to really come out and try to calm it down.
I think they were hoping it wouldn't get out because apparently, I mean, they sent it over a week ago, so it just got discovered yesterday.
Crazy stuff. All right, John Moody wants to know, will Hoist the Colors go live in Tuscaloosa 3 Fridays from today? If not, do we need a sponsor to make it happen? Arik Hill says, I agree, it's a must for HTC to be live in Tuscaloosa. What is needed to ensure it happens? A sponsor. So if y'all can get us a sponsor, a place to do it. The problem is I don't think there's too many great establishments that could host a radio show in Tuscaloosa the night before a game, especially from the visiting radio. Like if it was an Alabama-centric show, maybe we could have more success. But like, I feel like it's going to be tough for us to roll in. I don't have many contacts in Alabama. Philip, I don't know. Bobby, do y'all have any contacts in Tuscaloosa?
Not in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
I have some friends that went to Alabama.
So, I mean, it's just, If we like, it'd be easier if it was in Raleigh or Charlotte where we had some dedicated ECU alumni. Maybe there is somebody out there in Birmingham or in Tuscaloosa that can hook us up. Let me know. We will have to figure out what to do that Friday. You guys are not going. I am going.
And I'll be in D.C. because we have the High Rocks the day before, yeah.
So we may end up having to either
on Thursday.
Yeah, record on Thursday or do something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. And
it'll be a party regardless.
When ECU beats Alabama, we can do a live post-game show to celebrate. How about that?
Love that.
I'll do that from Tuscaloosa. Any restaurant willing to have me. Live feed.
Say just run into the radio booth and grab Jim Zoki and say, "Hey Jim, we're doing this." We'll do it.
I mean, I've already thought about the possibilities. I'm not going to let it go much further though, because I don't know how realistic it is. All right, generally speaking, guys, the American, we'll dive more into this specifically, but we'll get started on some talking points now. Just, you were texting me yesterday, Bobby, like how good it feels to just research football, college football again. So I know you're fired up just to do some little preview, some diving in. So any initial big takeaways from diving into this mega 14-team American Conference?
Football is back.
Yeah.
That's the number one takeaway. I that's why I texted you guys, because I was completely caught off guard how great it was going to make me feel researching football and reading about football again. Not that I haven't with NFL training camp and stuff started, but this was just like a different animal preparing for the show. The other big takeaway, there's a lot of unknowns with this conference, and it's kind of hard to get a lot of good information because Philip and I were, without the preseason polls and preseason conference teams, it's really hard to, scout other opponents or, who's expected to be a top player, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We've got no shortage of turnover in terms of coaching changes, so new schemes and that sort of deal. And then because the conference is so large, the other thing you have to really examine is the strength of schedule within the conference and evaluating who's playing who and whether it's home or away. And those things are all difficult to predict.
So Tim Pernetti said at Media Day that 78% of last year's first and second team all-league players transferred to Power 4 schools, which is a ridiculous amount. And that just shows, A, if you're successful in the American as a coach or a player, you're gonna have opportunities to move up. I mean, basically all the top coaches last year moved up. So I don't know. It's just it really is the top league in the group of six. So it just gets poached, and it just creates so many questions every year, which makes it fascinating, also makes it frustrating at the same time to try and get a handle on things, because I think now we just look at, all right, who has a quarterback and a coach back? Okay, they do. Let's put them at the top of the conference. And it's so much deeper than that, though. That's
the hard thing, reading some of the information that you could find, is because a lot of people are just scanning, just like you said, who has a quarterback back, who has a head coach back, and then they're automatically, granting them, this set record or placement within the standings. I mean, even Navy's gotten a lot of buzz to be the predicted conference champion. Dude, if you dig deep into their roster offensively, they're losing a ton. Mm-hmm. And I was ready to pencil in Navy, and I actually, when I started reading more about it, I moved them out of my conference champion. I don't think they're going to be in the title game based upon the turnover that they have. And dude, it's wild, yeah.
And a lot of it, which I'll get into, I do have them making it primarily because of their schedule. That's a lot of it too, is just the imbalanced schedule. Breaking news out of Tuscaloosa. Alabama freshman cornerback Jordan Edmonds is expected to miss at least a few weeks with a lower body injury. Former five-star was the third highest ranked recruit in Crimson Tide's 26 class. So I don't know how much he was going to play, but still, five-star recruit will not be playing against ECU probably. So let's take some shots downfield.
Yeah, but the issue is they have about 3 or 4 more five-stars sitting there waiting to go in.
No doubt. How's your Phil Steele search coming, Philip?
Do you want me to tell you the story on the air?
I mean, why not?
Okay, so the Phil Steele thing magazine is at Barnes & Noble. Or
supposed to be.
So I go in there to buy it. I look at the place where I would think it'd be. It's not there. So I go to customer service, nobody there. Wait in line. Get up to the register, and the guy's like, "Oh, we can't look that up here. You got to go to customer service." It's like, well, there's nobody at customer service. He calls this lady over. She never looks at it in the computer, never does anything, just walks over with me to the same place I was at, looks at me and says, "I've got a bunch of boxes of magazines in the back, it might be out in like a week or two, and then just walks off. Too lazy to like look it in the computer, any of that. So I go back over there this morning, like maybe I can talk to somebody else. I walk into the area where I think it's going to be, don't see it. Walk up to this young gentleman. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'll look it up in the system for you." He looks it up. He's like, "I'm sorry, we only do one shipment of that. We're sold out. We're not getting any more." Okay, fine. I'm not mad at him for being sold out, but she could have saved me the trip of going over there if she would have just looked it up. But she was too lazy to do it. What a bum.
What a bum.
I could say other stuff, but
yeah. I mean, that laziness costs you and the other guy. It's just wasted time.
Exactly.
And gas.
And
gas,
money.
time. Yeah. The other guy was really helpful. So shout out. I didn't get his name, but shout out to the young guy who helped me today. You were really nice. I appreciate it. The other lady, go kick rocks.
So what you're saying is, because I rely a lot on Phil Steele, not as much for the American because I have to know at least some of the conference, but without Phil Steele, some of these conference previews may be a little tough.
Yeah.
Until you get one.
CUSA.
Yeah. CUSA Mac, I'd be shooting in the dark.
Yeah. And the tough thing is I'm going to have to do it because I'm going to order it online now. And I guarantee you it ain't going to be here by Monday. And we got to get a lot of these done this week.
All right. So let's get a break in. We'll come back. I've got the conference odds pulled up for the American, and we'll run through that. We'll make some picks. We'll also talk, is this ECU's year to win this conference? We'll make the argument for and against, and make some picks, including what new coach we're looking forward to watching, best quarterback, games we're looking forward to most, our bounce-back team, conference title game, and more. Predictions on the way. This is Hoist the Colors.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors here on a Friday. We are brought to you by Basil's on this Friday edition. Good to have Bobby back. Basil's, check them out. They're bringing you Bobby's appearance today. 1675 East Fire Tower Road, Greenville, North Carolina, over by the AMC movie theater. Great pasta, salads, sandwiches, and so much more. Philip, I just want to let you know you're not alone in struggling to find still. Trent Britt texted in, said he's had some issues as well. So
Okay.
you're not alone.
Sorry you're suffering, Trent, but thanks for letting us know that we're suffering together. It always makes it easier when you got company.
Yeah. So just we'll try to do our best. And yeah, you can, and you're buying it shipping wise, right? But now you got to pay for shipping and handling.
I know, exactly.
Which is not cheap. All right, I'm looking at, man, these odds have shifted a lot. Not a lot, but somewhat significantly in ECU's favor, gentlemen. When I did this earlier this offseason, ECU, speaking to the American Conference Championship game winner odds, ECU was like 7th. Now I'm looking at two different sites, DraftKings and Action Network, that have ECU as the third best odds to win the league. Now, this thing is wide open. Navy, UTSA, East Carolina, South Florida, Memphis, Army, and Tulane, all 7 teams, all have plus 850 or beneath that odds. So Navy's plus 360, UTSA plus 475, ECU plus 550, USF plus 700, Memphis plus 750, plus 800 to Army, plus 850 to Tulane. If you're not a betting person, basically that means it's wide open as far as any of these teams could win it.
Dude, I went on FanDuel this morning to look up the odds. So I just Googled American or conference football odds, and ECU had the 6th best odds at plus 1,000.
Yeah, so I guess it just varies.
Yeah.
Based on, and how much of this is based on what everybody's betting from a specific region. But still, it's winnable. And I think there's just so much unknown going back to Bobby's conversation. So before we get into some of these picks, let's have more of a big picture discussion here. And I feel like ECU got a pretty favorable draw if you look at it from the standpoint of, all right, the Pirates, they don't have to play Tulane. They get USF at home. Now, going to Memphis and going to Army is difficult. But not having to play Tulane, not having to play UTSA, not having to play Navy, pretty significant advantage. And if this team stays healthy, plays to its potential, I think you'll have a shot. Let's say you split the Army and Memphis games. I give ECU a good shot to maybe make the title games. I just feel like the opportunity's there. And is this ECU's year to win the league as a result, Bobby?
That's the question, because there's even though Blake Harrell is returning, there's still a lot of unknowns that we're piecing together. You're replacing all 5 guys up front. We obviously got a new quarterback. You're replacing your top receivers. That's a lot of changes going on in the offense. So if those things mesh, you would think. I mean, in my head, Bobby Harwood's prediction, I think we'll be right in that conversation there, top 3 in the conference. I think I mentioned this before we went on our summer hiatus. That Army game is going to loom large for our chances and our opportunity in a conference championship game.
Yeah, and the thing that worries me also most, and we'll kind of get into this, but the trap game at UAB, we've just seen ECU teams struggle in those spots where nobody's thinking about it, and we're looking way ahead here. But hey, it's a conference preview on August 14th. Those games, if you're going to compete for a conference championship, we saw last year Memphis was ranked. They were in position to make the college football playoff. They go to UAB on a short week and lose, and it derails their season. So, all it takes is one slip up, even with the perceived easier schedule. So, I do like how it looks on paper. Am I going to pick ECU to win the league? No, we'll get into that here in a minute. But, I mean, Philip, there is, even if you take the purple shades off, there is a lens in which the Pirates are the champion in the American this year, I think.
If you go 2-1 in those games you just mentioned, then you're in the conference championship game, I think, as long as you don't slip up. So, yeah, I don't think it's looking through a purple lens. And when you look at most of the teams, actually, we talked about the unbalanced schedule. I didn't go through everybody's schedule while you're doing this. I kind of went through the other teams at the top. A lot of teams other than maybe UTSA, really do have to play two, or usually have to play three of the other good teams, right? So if you go 2-1 in these games, you feel good. If you go 1-2, you're in trouble. And if you go 3-0, you're in the championship game. And it's just that simple. East Carolina will be a no more, I think, than a touchdown dog in any game this season other than Alabama. And if it's a one-score game, then, a one-score spread, presumably you can win it easily. I mean, not easily, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a long shot to win. So, yeah, I don't think we're looking through a purple lens when we say that.
All right, top storylines here, just to run some things down. Obviously, last year's championship game was Tulane and North Texas. Tulane wins. They go to the CFP. John Summerall goes to Florida. North Texas, which kind of had a incredible year out of nowhere, at least putting it all together. Eric Morris takes advantage. He goes to Oklahoma State. We know, of course, Jordan Davis comes to East Carolina as offensive coordinator. So we'll see how that plays out as well. You also saw Ryan Silverfield, much to Memphis fans' liking. He took another job at Arkansas after, they had good years, but they could never get to the championship game under Silverfield or win a title. USF under Golesh, they were good, but they struggled in big games. Still, he takes Byron Brown to Auburn. And obviously, Memphis hires Charles Huff. USF brings in Brian Hartline. North Texas hires Neil Brown. And Tulane ended up promoting Will Hall from within as well. So those were kind of your major coaching changes. UAB also ended up hiring this interim. In addition, you had some first-year coaches last year like Temple with KC Keeler. 5 wins right on the doorstep. They close the season against a tough schedule. Couldn't get to win number 6, but they're projected to be better next year. FAU brings back their quarterback, their receiver, their head coach, so they're kind of a potential dark horse we can get into. And then bringing up the rear last year was Charlotte, and maybe doing so again. So I don't know. Before we dive into our picks, which we'll probably just get a break and do those on the other side, any big storylines stand out, Bob, as I run through those?
Yeah, the coaching turnovers, which I know we're going to hit on. I mean, that's a lot of turnover at a lot of the premier teams in this conference. So it really opens the door for ECU to put their foot in. And then on top of all the turnover, you have all those transfers that you mentioned too. 78% or whatever of the all-conference team is now transferred. Is that what it was? Yep. Like, that's a lot of turnover within the conference at premier players. So it's just a lot of unknowns, a lot of openness, and the thing, it's going to be an exciting year in the American. Like, every game, not saying I'm going to lock into UAB and Rice, but like every game at least is going to have some sort of implications to it, you would think.
Interesting thing, too, the one place that we've seen a lot of success over the last few years that hasn't had any turnover is Army, and Jeff Monken just got a 5-year extension the other day.
Yeah. Army and Navy. I mean, Brian Newberry, he's done a really good job there. And obviously Monken's been incredible at Army for a long time. And so while they can't take transfers, they retain a lot of pieces, and they keep their systems going. And that's what makes it tough.
Those are considered federal jobs, correct? Yeah, I mean, like they get those benefits and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a huge.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, so and honestly, it's probably like, I'm sure they lose some players to the portal, but it's probably kind of nice to not even have to deal with recruiting players to the portal. Like, just not even have to deal with that side of things. All right, let's go ahead and get our break in, gentlemen. When we come back, we'll make those picks, and we'll run through some more storylines along the way with the American Conference heading into the 2026 season.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
In Eastern North Carolina, people appreciate things that are straightforward, honest, and dependable. For decades, our team has focused on cutting through insurance complexity for the communities we serve. And now, we're bringing that same mindset to our name. We're Flatlands Insurance Group, a simpler name that reflects the same local team, the same values, and the same commitment to the great communities we feel blessed to be a part of. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world is covered.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. I remember it exactly.
Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, segment 3 here. We're talking the American Conference on a Friday. First conference preview of the year. We'll keep these things going. We'll find another conference to do on Monday. And probably do one almost every day next week, I would think. And have the latest for you on football practice on Monday, as well as they'll be coming off the first scrimmage of the year on Saturday. All right. So we're going to do some categories here. I'll throw out a category. Bobby, Phillip, and I have our list ready to go. I should say Bobby and Phillip have their list ready to go. I don't have it. Mine is still blank. I just realized that, but I'll pick it as we go. I feel like I've at least got a decent enough feel to do this. All right, so new coach worth watching in the American. Like, who are you guys most interested in from a new coach perspective? I'll start with Bobby. We'll go around the horn here.
I'm going to go, and as we mentioned, there's no shortage of options, but it really came down to two for me, Charles Huff and Brian Hartline. I think Tulane takes a step back with Will Hall. Neil Brown, I think, will just be okay at North Texas. And then Alex Mortensen, it's UAB.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to highlight and focus Charles Huff because I'm most interested in how his tenure goes at Memphis, because each spot he's been very controversial. He's a very difficult guy to work with from everything that I've heard. And I think this Memphis situation could go one of two ways. I think he could take off and boom and be a big hit that helps them leapfrog like they're trying to do into another conference, or it is just complete fall flat on their face. History would tell us they're due to fall on their face at some point in time. They've hit too many hires. Them and Tulane both have hit too many hires recently. But I'm just curious how he fits culturally and if he's able to connect with those kids that go to Memphis because it could be a very boom or bust situation.
Phillip?
I'm going to go with the other guy. I'm going to go with Hartline. That's a cliche answer, but look, at the end of the day, we know we can recruit Chris Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., the kid who's there now, still at Ohio State. I'm missing a couple others. But is this a Jeff Capel situation? Jeff Capel did a lot of Coach K's recruiting down the stretch, and he's gone to Pitt, and things haven't gone well. Is this the same situation in South Florida? Can he coach? Can he be a head coach? Yes, he played in the NFL. Yes, he can recruit. It's different being a college head coach. So I'm just interested to see how things go with South Florida.
Hartline is my answer as well, but I will say the Will Hall situation intrigues me just because you mentioned those places continue to hit on their coaches, and I do wonder how much of that is just the resources they have. And Tulane, if you look at Will Hall's background, he won at West Alabama Division II. He won at West Georgia when they were Division II. Southern Miss did not go well, but he was a good OC at Tulane previously under Willie Fritz. So I'm just curious, can he kind of recapture that success? He's had mixed results as a head coach, obviously at the FBS level for sure, but with the resources there, do they keep it rolling? I don't know. I lean more towards I would have liked to see them make an outside hire, but I am intrigued to see what they do with those resources. So some good candidates to watch there for sure. All right, best quarterback in the American. There are some obvious candidates here. Owen McCown, Caden Veldkamp. Braxton Woodson returns at Navy as a guy who's played a decent amount, taking over for Horvath. Kel Helms from Army. So who do you think is the best?
Yeah, I'm going to go Owen McCown. I think, and we'll get into this a little bit later, I think UTSA is going to have a monster year, and so I think he's going to be a big part of it. For some reason, I thought he was done. So when I was going through the preview stuff, I was kind of shocked that he was still around. And their offense was good last year, and they're returning a lot offensively too, which is another big part of why I'm picking Owen McCown as well.
Yeah, it is weird, Bobby. He was a sophomore in high school when Drake May was a senior. They were on the same team. I feel like Drake May's been in the NFL for like 3 or 4 years now. So, yeah, I don't know why Owen McCown is still in college. I'm going to go with one of the guys that was actually not named to any of the preseason awards list. I'm going to go with Michael Van Buren Jr. down in South Florida. And the big thing is here, man, he actually didn't look terrible at LSU last year. Played in 7 games, threw for over 1,000 yards, but a handful of those games he just, was mop-up duty at the end. Every game I think he started threw for over 220 yards. He was recruited by an SEC school for a reason. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
That's the thing is I look at this, whether it be Marcus Stokes in Memphis, Emory Williams, or Mitch Griffiths at ECU, Van Buren, whoever emerges at Tulane, I could easily see one of those guys taking that pedestal, but it's hard to go against specifically Owen McCown with that system. Like we know he's going to be efficient, specifically in the Alamo Dome. Can they have success on the road? That is the ultimate question, and will ultimately determine whether they can win a championship or not, because they're good at home, they're electric at home. Can they win on the road? But I have to go Owen McCown just from a proven standpoint. But I do think others have more talent, including Veldkamp, if he can get healthy and have some help around him. Most exciting non-quarterback offensive player in the league. Bobby, who you got?
So I had narrowed it down to 2 guys here. Again, I'm going to say it again. I'm high on UTSA, so I'm going to go Will Henderson, who's their running back. As a sophomore last year, he rushed for 866 yards on 125 carries, so he averaged almost 7 yards a pop.
He's electric.
He is electric. That offense, I think, is going to be firing on all cylinders. The other guy that I was torn with was Easton Messer at FAU. I do think he's going to be productive again in that system, but Will Henderson is my pick.
Yeah, I went kind of a different route here. I'm going to go Peter Clark, the tight end at Temple. This is a guy who had 6 touchdowns last year, tied a Temple record for most by a tight end. He's just a big physical tight end in a league where linebackers can cover the tight end okay, but not to the level they can at some of the other places. When you look at this kid's style of play, he reminds you of a player that would come out of Iowa. So maybe a poor man's Iowa tight end, but I think he's going to be really exciting, and I think Temple's going to be back to their Temple tough ways and have a good season, so I'm going to go with Clark.
I'm going Henderson as well. He reminds me of Keaton Mitchell, just his shiftiness, his speed. He like watching him run on that turf last year, not only against ECU, but everybody else. I'm like, this guy's a problem. Now, the biggest question for him, he's pretty slight of stature. Can he stay healthy? But if he's healthy, McCown's healthy, they're going to be a tough out with that offense. So I like Henderson, Messer as well. Peter Clark were also on my list. New name to watch, Jaheim White, West Virginia transfer at North Texas, running back as well. All right, most exciting non-quarterback defensive player. The American not known for defense. Bobby, could you find a defensive player that you like?
So this was, I was telling Philip pre-show, this was the most difficult to find because there was like no preseason top conference list. Well, I found one, and I was scrolling through the list of names just to see who they were. And then a name stood out to me that I remembered from one of my film breakdowns last year.
Legit.
Elijah Green from Tulsa. Golden Hurricane. Boundary corner. He is a dude at corner. He is 6'2", 195. Going into our game last year, he had 5 interceptions. He had 2 against Memphis himself. Does a great job of really baiting quarterbacks, but also being able to lock up a team's number 1 receiver. So Elijah Green, I was actually shocked he returned to Tulsa seeing that.
Stunned. He did. I noticed. Did want to note he did suffer a small preseason injury. So he may end up missing start of the season. He's on my list as well. They'll have Elijah Green too.
You know, if y'all would have got what's his name in for the interview, the who's the reporter that y'all had from Tulsa?
Oh, for Tulsa.
Larry Lewis.
Larry Lewis
back. I would have been locked in, and that may have changed my pick.
We couldn't get Larry on this year. No Tulsa preview. Pirates don't play him. I guess we could just have him on.
I think we should just have him on just to see what the over/under is, see if we should take it again, ride with Tulsa all year long.
I mean, they hit it last year by the skin of their teeth.
They did. Shout out to Oklahoma State for sucking in like week 1.
What do you got here, Philip?
All right, I'm going to go with the Jack Tuchinachu. I don't know how to say his last name. He is a safety out of Tulane. He was actually the MVP of the conference championship game last year. This is a guy who flies downhill really well, really good open field tackler. And as you said, Steven, defense is not good in the American, so probably the other 10 guys he's been playing with are not very good, and he's going to be the last line of defense. That means he's going to have a big year. Had 93 tackles, I think it was, a year ago. So I'm looking forward to watching Jack Tuchinachu play some football.
The vibe I get is the 2 teams in this league that will be playing defense this year are Tulane and ECU. So Tulane brings a lot back. FAU is an interesting situation. They're not very good defensively, but they have a really good defensive tackle, CJ Doggett. So he's a name to watch too. But I get the vibe. Tulane's going to be pretty good on defense. Offense is a question mark, but again, with Will Hall being an offensive guy, maybe they're solid there regardless. But otherwise, I'm expecting a lot of points in the American. Game we're looking forward to most. Feel free to throw out multiple here because there's a lot given the unbalanced schedules, but is there one that stands above the rest, Bob?
There is. There is a date when the ECU Pirates go up to West Point, New York, to play Army. That is the game for me because in my projections, the winner of that game goes to the conference championship game.
There you go. I can't disagree with that. Philip, how you got it?
I get a similar point here, Bob. I think the winner of the East Carolina-South Florida game goes to the conference championship game. So give me ECU in South Florida in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium, baby.
I've got ECU South Florida on my list just for the revenge factor. It's Friday night, ESPN, South Florida, all this hype. They just play an absolute joke of a non-conference schedule. Now, they do play a tough league slate. But they should come in with a good record. They should come in with some pretty good buzz. We know Josh Aldridge is there now. Interested to see how that unfolds. But I just feel like there's going to be an electricity surrounding that game. And really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Another game I'm keeping an eye on, UTSA at Tulane on Saturday, October 24th. That feels like it could be a big one. Also for me, guys, week 2. I'm going to be watching week 2 for multiple reasons. Navy at Florida Atlantic. Like, that feels like an early trip-up game spot for Navy, who otherwise has an easy slate. And then the other one for me is Army hosts South Florida in week 2. South Florida has the easy non-conference game. This is the one game that's tricky early in their slate. So, a couple early conference games.
That will make our segment that we do on the pregame show of Around the American a very easy segment to do in week 2. Sometimes it's tough that early in the season, but it'll be easy.
Those service academies always got to squeeze in the early games because they're playing Air Force and Army later on. All right, last place team. I think we're all – are we all on one accord here?
I think so.
Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Charlotte.
And the tiebreaker for me between them and UAB is Charlotte is on the road in Birmingham, so that's why I gave Birmingham the advantage there. Both of them have gauntlets of conference schedules.
Charlotte, I mean, they can't be any worse than they were last year, right? But then I look at their only win last year was Monmouth, and
they won by 7. It was 42-35. Monmouth scored 35 points.
They don't have Biff Poggi money anymore.
Tim Albin, I like what he did at Ohio, but I don't know, man.
I stayed a Bobcat.
I look at this team, I look at the schedule, and I just don't. they're favored against the Citadel. I don't think they're favored in another game. I mean, will they beat the Citadel?
Dude, Citadel, they weren't bad last year, I believe. I think they've kind of bounced back. You know, they had a dip after the Houston era, but I think they're back. I'm with Phillip. I think Tim Albin should have stayed at Ohio. I think
new AD at Charlotte too.
Yeah, it could be a short tenure. I think he just got big-eyed on the American Conference and not really fully understanding the resources or lack thereof at Charlotte.
You know, it does worry me though, Bobby, with them beating this, it worries me with the Citadel staying a chance to beat Charlotte because, like you said, Mike Houston was the Citadel. We know that Mike Houston cannot beat Charlotte.
That is true. I don't know, man. Charlotte UAB November 7th could be electric though. I feel like every time we rag on Charlotte on this program, they end up beating ECU. So maybe we should stop.
Yeah, it's happened 100% of the time I've done it.
No, I ragged on them last year.
Yeah,
I believe in Blake. Hey, Blake era is a different era.
You're right. I tell you what, let's get our final break in now. When we come back, we'll hit bounce back team, dark horse title contender, conference title game, and conference champion. We'll also hit on maybe some more of the things to watch as the season gets closer. So we'll do that. Save some final time for the final segment. This is Hoist the Colors.
The power of savings is yours at Greenville Toyota with powerful deals on our huge selection of new Toyotas, like a Camry, $229 a month, or the all-new RAV4, $279. Don't miss the power of savings at Greenville Toyota.
In Eastern North Carolina, hard work matters, and it always has. At Flatlands Insurance Group, we've been showing up for our neighbors since 1963, helping families and business owners navigate change, weather tough seasons, and keep moving forward. Decades later, our purpose hasn't changed: to help protect what you've poured your time and energy to, from your home to your health to whatever comes next. Flatlands Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
Need cash for a vacation? National Finance Company is here to help. For over 50 years, National Finance Company has been the small loan specialist with loans from $1,000 to $5,000 with low payments to meet your budget. We're in the business of getting you the cash you need today. Apply online for a loan at one of our convenient branch offices and get your money as fast as today. It's easy. Get the vacation cash you need. For extra cash, visit nfcmoney.com.
Your future is full of possibilities, and Pitt Community College can help you explore every option. You can earn a degree, learn a trade, transfer to a university, or launch a new career. We offer the support you need to succeed with flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for the real world. Your path, your future, your college. Pitt Community College. Register now.
Visit Larry's Steakhouse for a tender, hand-cut certified Angus ribeye. Other entrees include perfectly seasoned pork chops, chicken, or seafood favorites like shrimp, tuna, and salmon. Complement your meal with Larry's fresh 20-plus item salad bar, or enjoy it as an all-you-can-eat entree. Daily rotating favorites include meatloaf, chicken pastry, hamburger steak, spaghetti, pork chops, and more, all complemented with your favorite country sides. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or our Sunday brunch, remember to support and eat local. Larry's Steakhouse.
The hunting and fishing event of the summer comes to the Greenville Convention Center, July 11th and 12th, bringing together the best hunting and fishing vendors, outfitters, and fishing experts, all under one roof. Special free events, including a mountain trout pond, indoor archery range, offshore fishing experience, interactive duck blind, and free seminars. Don't miss it. The Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo is July 11th and 12th.
With new Toyota trucks from $259 a month, you've got the power of savings at Greenville Toyota. Drive Tacomas $259 a month or Tundras only $399 a month at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Well, that's enough of that. Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Again, final segment here, Hoist the Colors. It's our American Conference preview. We're making picks. We're about to find out what any of us have. The Pirates winning the American. We've got Bobby Harvard brought to you by Basil's today. Check them out over by the AMC Movie Theater. Appreciate Basil's, their support of the program. All right, guys, bounce back team in the American as we continue on our category picks. This has to be a team that missed a bowl game in 2025, Who will bounce back and make a bowl in 2026? No shortage of candidates. Bobby, who you got?
I got the Temple Owls. I was a little hesitant picking them because they do have at South Florida, at Memphis, at Navy, and at ECU. So schedule-wise,
they have a brutal road schedule.
Yes.
It's tough.
It's difficult, and that's originally was going to be my dark horse contender, and it still may be. I'm not going to give it away, but I do think whether that results in more wins or not, I think they're going to be a much more competitive football team. I actually think that game when they come to Dowdy is going to be a pretty solid football game.
Who you got as your bounce back team, Phil?
Same. Yeah, I got Temple.
I've got the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. I like Trey Lamb. I like Elijah Green. I like some of the pieces they returned. They returned a lot. I think they kind of didn't get poached in the portal because they weren't great last year. But like their defense was solid at times, and I think their offense is going to be better with second-year quarterback Baylor Hayes. Oklahoma State at home is going to be an interesting opener. They do go to Sam Houston. They get East Texas A&M. Not the easiest schedule in the world, but I think they claw their way to 6 games. I'm going Tulsa as my bounce-back team, also heavily considered Rice and Temple. I do think Temple gets there. FAU also very much in the mix too.
Bobby, he's been hanging out with Larry Lewis behind our back is what I think's been going on.
No doubt. They're going to tiebreakers.
We've been texting all the time. He's giving me all the insights.
There you go.
Dark horse title contender. This is a tough one for me because of like you can make an argument the first 7 can win the league. So I'm not going to say you can't throw out those options, but who y'all got as far as dark horse title contender?
I mean, if we want to we go outside of the top 7,
yeah,
I will jump back to Temple.
Okay.
I had Army in there. I didn't know if that would count or not.
I have Army as well, so
I'll go Temple to be different. Again, if they have some things bounce their way, even though they're on the road for that stretch that we talked about, I think they'll be much more competitive and they'll make it close football games. The style of football they play, too, will give them a chance to win on the road.
I like Army as well, but if I had to go outside the top group, I would go FAU. If they can get a defensive running game, they have the pieces to contend, but I don't think it's going to happen.
The tough thing with them, at ECU, at North Texas, at Army, they get UTSA and South Florida home, but FAU schedule's a gauntlet, man. That's the tough thing.
Them and Tulsa and Temple are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
Philip, he wanted to pick Tulsa. He just didn't want another Larry Lewis joke.
Yes, he did. He did. Well, okay, so my dark horse contender, because when I looked up the odds this morning, they were at plus 1,000, and I think anybody plus 1,000 odds counts as a dark horse. Give me these Carolina Pirates. But if we can't go with somebody, because hell, Steven saw a list right before the show that they were like plus 400 and we're third. So I guess that's a bad one. So you know what? To heck with it. I'm going to ride with them. Give me the Owls, baby. Temple.
I was about to say which Owls.
I knew.
You could just go Owls and
Owls.
pick
The
FAU,
Owls
Rice,
will be. Yeah, I'm picking all 3 of them, man. There will be a 3-way champion. You see that like 3-way soccer game they play on the Ocho? They're going to play that like where you get a score. Whoever gets the most goals scored on them loses. We're going to do that 3-way football with all 3 Owls. One of them will win the conference championship.
There you go. Conference title game and conference champion. Who you got, Bob?
All right, I got my least favorite team in this conference, the Meats, the Roadrunners. Yep, hate those guys. And then, as I mentioned earlier, a little foreplay, ECU Army winner.
Pirates, baby.
I'll go Pirates.
Let's go.
I hadn't selected one. I'll go Pirates right here. The Pirates get it done. Maybe they even run the table and they can afford a loss and a letdown in West Point. Give me the Roadrunners and the Pirates.
Who you got winning it?
I got the Roadrunners.
Yeah. If it's in the Alamo Dome,
oh yeah, dude. Looking at UTSA's schedule, like they don't play anybody. That offense is going to be rolling. Like I think they're going to have a pretty good year. And they do play people, South Florida and Navy, but they're both in the Alamo Dome, which is
where they pipe in noise.
Right.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, man. So I definitely have UTSA in the championship game. Like I said, I got the winner of ECU in South Florida. Give me the Pirates, baby. Pirates lose, in the Alamo Dome because it's rigged and they're cheaters. And Jeff Traylor's a cheater, and the Roadrunners are cheaters, and they're all going to have to answer for it on Judgment Day.
What's crazy is he's going to pull these clips for that game. He went back and pulled the J.D. Lampley post about knocking a guy's helmet off as motivation. I've got 4 teams going 6-2, UTSA, Navy, Army, ECU. In my official predictions, I have Navy and UTSA getting the tiebreaker. They play each other during the regular season. I have Navy winning that game, therefore hosting the conference championship. therefore winning the conference championship.
Hold on, you got Navy winning in the Alamo Dome.
No, Navy
hosts UTSA.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah. No,
Right?
that game's in the Alamo Dome. So you have the regular season game. Then
I have Navy winning in the Alamo Dome and then beating them on their home field.
hey, the couple times they've slipped up, home games have been to triple option teams.
Maybe
not Navy, but has been triple option.
Maybe I had it backwards. But either way, I do have Navy winning.
Okay.
In my official prediction.
You actually did you go through and pick every conference game?
I did for my 14-team prediction.
That was smart. Maybe I would have had time if I would have got the Phil Steele magazine and the blue-haired lady wouldn't have lied to me.
Kenneth says, tired of the disrespect of our program, practicing to use it as fuel and bulletin board material. Look, I want to see ECU win the league, dominate the league, but ECU has been in this conference since 2014. They never made the conference title game. So, to me, it's not even disrespect. They got to go out and earn it. He predicts, by the way, UTSA at East Carolina. So I do think, I know we're wrapping up, about a minute left, Bobby, but I do think the thing that could hurt the American this year with the CFP is if you do have a scenario where 6-2 is how it plays out, I don't know if anybody makes the playoff from the league, which wouldn't be good.
That'll be tough, and a lot of it, too, will come down in that scenario to out-of-conference opponents and all that kind of stuff. But really what they're competing with is the Pac-12. I mean, we talked CUSA, non-factor, Sun Belt. James Madison's probably the really only factor there, but they don't have anybody out of conference. So between American Conference and the Pac-12, who can be the head honcho? And, you just hope we don't beat ourselves up.
A lot riding on that early Memphis-Boise game. I think it's week 1.
They play UNLV week 1 and then Boise week 3 or 4.
Okay,
so
that's what it is. Okay, yeah.
They have to go on the road for both those games, which will be tough. So there are some big games to get into next week in the G6 playoff race. All right, we got to get out of here. Bobby, appreciate you. Philip, appreciate you. Interns as well for the social media work. We got to get out of here. We'll see you Monday, 12 noon on Hoist the Colors.